Alright, so for clarification, guys, don't get mad at me, but for this one, I wanted to try something different. And so for this what if or fan fiction, I'd like to say that except for this intro part and the outro, this is not mine in any way, shape, or form. So I'd like to say that the characters within this story are related to Masashi Kishimoto or the scriptwriter. So yeah, basically one day I was looking on fanfiction to strengthen my script writing skills, and I found this story. I absolutely love this story, and I myself haven't even finished it, but I decided to make a video on it. I wanted to try and make a series out of this. I'm trying to get in contact with the scriptwriter at the moment, but no response at the moment of making the script. So yeah, I thank you guys. If you don't get mad at me, go crazy and all that stuff, saying I didn't make it and this isn't mine. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and also I'd like to say that I'll be reading directly off of his script, so it's not gonna really be in third person. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but it might take a pretty long time depending on the circumstances. With all that being said, let's begin. Alright, for disclaimer, Naruto is property of Masashi Kishimoto. I don't own any of this once again, so yeah. A 5-year-old Naruto was currently running for his life as a mob of angry villagers ran after him, wielding pitchforks, torches, bats, and other blunt objects. Get him, one mob member shouted. Kill him, another shouted. We'll avenge Fourth Hokage-sama, you demon brat. Naruto ran down an alleyway and managed to lose the crowd of angry civilians. In an alley not far from the Hokage's office. Why do they hurt me? Naruto asked himself. What did I ever do to deserve this? Found him. He is hiding in this alley, a voice yells. The mob members charge into the alley with weapons and blunt objects. Now you pay for all those you killed. You crushed my husband, and I'll kill you. Then the mob then charges and starts beating the crap out of Naruto. Naruto couldn't think because of the pain. Eventually, the crowd leaves a battered, bruised, and bleeding Naruto in an alleyway. What did I ever do to deserve this? Naruto cried to himself as he slipped into the sweet bliss of unconsciousness. After a few seconds, a man with 2 large Venus flytrap-like extensions that enveloped his head and upper body giving him a plant-like appearance. He was short, green hair, yellow eyes, and that his body is 2 different colored halves. His left side is completely white, while the right is almost entirely black. Madara-sama's not going to be happy about this, Black Zetsu said to his other half. You don't think he'll kill us, do you? White Zetsu asked. If we hurry, we can still save him for our sake. I hope we aren't too late. Zetsu grabbed Naruto and took him in the folds of his cloak and sunk into the ground of Naruto. Now they're at the mountain graveyard. Madara was in his robes connected to the ghetto statue as he started coughing. I hope Zetsu brought him. I hope Zetsu makes it in time. Madara says as he coughs up some more blood. I pray I can save my grandson. Just then, Zetsu emerges from the ground in unconscious Naruto and bleeding Naruto slung over his shoulder. I've retrieved Naruto-sama, Madara-sama. But based on his injuries, he won't last long. He needs blood transfusions, and some of his flesh has been torn off. His skull has suffered blunt force trauma, though it looks like something has already started to heal the damage. But whatever it isn't strong enough to save him. Madara's eyes widened in horror and fear at the thought of losing his grandson. Place him on the table, Madara said, walking over to the operation table that he once used to save Obito. Give me 3 vials of blood and 4 vials of Hashirama's blood, as well as some of his tissue. You don't intend, Black Zetsu said, shocked. Yes, I will save my grandson at any cost. Madara's eyes started spinning madly. Yes, Madara-sama. Zetsu ran over to the ghetto statue and grabbed the hollowed out Zetsu's body. Then the vials of blood Madara kept, and he carried them over to Naruto. Alright, now place the body around Naruto and I will use a very powerful medical ninjutsu to merge the outer and inner skin layers that will stop the bleeding and heal his internal injuries. Madara scanned Naruto and watched carefully as Zetsu placed the hollowed out body over Naruto. And once it was complete, Madara started weaving hand signs. Ninja art, skin fusion jutsu. Naruto glowed a bright blue as the skirt, like the skin of Zetsu and Naruto's skin merged. When the light died down, Naruto's wounds had sealed themselves, and then Madara took out 2 blood bags and he put Hashirama's blood in one and his own in the other. Then inserted the needles into Naruto, and the blood started replacing Naruto's, the blood Naruto lost. Incredible, the boy took your blood and Hashirama's without a single adverse side effect. He's my grandson after all. Madara then saw a spark of all too familiar red chakra. Zetsu, lift the boy's shirt, but do it, Madara roared. Yes, sir. Zetsu lifted up Naruto's shirt and Madara saw the Haiki Fuyin in all its glory. I don't really know how to pronounce that one, guys, sorry. From what little I know of sealing jutsu, this is an 8 trigram seal, and if that chakra I saw is what I think it is, then my grandson is my pet's Jinchuriki. Then Obito will go after this boy in order to complete the Project Suki no Mi. Then my path is clear, Madara looked back at the Naruto sleeping face. I must train this boy. He is my legacy. I won't let Obito hurt him. Just then Naruto's eyes shot wide open. He saw Madara and Zetsu standing over him. Ah, your eyes are open, young one. Where am I? Naruto asked. Madara Uchiha Kurama roared in fury. I'm not sure this will keep the video monetized, so I'll just keep that out. I'll kill you. Naruto fell off the table in shock and fear. What was that? Naruto looked around frantically. Madara started laughing at his grandson's antics. That was probably the QB yelling at me, Madara said, chuckling. You see, he and I don't have the greatest history together. I haven't seen you laugh like this. It's actually kind of scary, Zetsu said, sort of creeped out. That's because I haven't laughed like this in a long time. Madara got a sad look on his face. Not since Rika died. Who's Rika? Naruto asked with his shock from Kurama voice broken. She was my wife, and I cared for her deeply. Madara looked at Naruto. Now I'm sure you are wondering who I am and where you are, so I'll answer you. My name is Madara Uchiha, and you are in my mountain hideout near the Valley of the End. Why am I here? And why do you even care if I live or die? You asked me that like I shouldn't. Madara said, surprised, because most people don't care what happens to me. They'd sooner see me dead than help me. Well, I'll tell you who I am. As I said, my name is Madara Uchiha, and the reason I care what happens to you is because you're my grandson. I'm your what? Naruto shouted. You are my grandson. Your father was a son who I thought had perished with my wife during an attempt on my life. Who is my father? Your father was Minato no Namikaze, otherwise known as the Fourth Hokage. Naruto's world collapsed around him as Madara's word fell on his ears. You're joking, right? Naruto laughed a bit, but when he saw that Madara and Zetsu were silent, he stopped. I'm deadly serious, Naruto. Your father was the Fourth Hokage and my son. How did you find out that you thought he died? I found out thanks to Zetsu because on the day I thought he died, I never found his body. I only found my wife's, so I assumed that my son lived, but I couldn't find him. I searched everywhere. I came to find a blonde-haired boy with black eyes, but to my dismay, I couldn't. But after years searching, I finally found him. It was too late. I only found out about my son 3 years ago. I'm sorry. I couldn't be there for you, Naruto, but now I want to spend the rest of my life with the little family I have. Madara smiled. How do I know you're telling the truth? Naruto asked suspiciously. You don't believe me? Many have tried to deceive the boy in thinking they care for him, only for them to treat him like dirt, White Zetsu said. They treat him like scum. The boy is now wary of everyone who he meets, as they might try to hurt him, Black Zetsu continued. Show me. Do you still have the Sandama's journal that I stole for you? Oh yeah, Madara said as he grabbed the journal and flipped through the pages and found out what he was looking for. Special thanks to VFS Snake for letting me borrow this from Rise of the Foxes. It's a good story and I suggest you give it a read. Day 1, My Resentment. It has been several days since the sealing, and now I find myself bound with a great pain in my heart, knowing that I did not perform the sealing of the QB instead of Minato. Even more, so that I lack the necessary fortitude to protect his son from those who would try to harm him. Thinking he is the monster they all fear will come back to kill them all. They are fools, plain and simple. I know that those who oppose my law will leak the information to the shadows lurking beneath the surface of the village. They want an outlet for the sadness they will use this innocent boy for an end. It is the fact that I can't protect him. He is one of my greater failures in life, not because I lack the will of fire I had to come to embrace in my younger years, but deep down, and Kami helped me. A part of me hates the boy too, to some degree. I am ashamed of myself for thinking like that, knowing that while I love the boy with every fiber of my being, a little part of the darkness that all of the village will soon feel for him is there, as well as Saratobi. Year 4, my near future. I saw through my crystal ball the orphanage caretaker tried to strangle Naruto with bare hands, calling him those horrible names that my law strictly forbids. And over a thing like asking for some food that that's a bad word, that the B word of a woman denied the boy, apparently for 3 days straight, not wanting him to react to his full potential. My Ambu that I assigned to watch over doesn't seem to care what happens to the boy. And the crueler children will see him when he is older as a target. They can prey on him without repercussions. Had not for the intervention of a female chunin named Kurenai, who wanted to play with the children, that day I would have failed to protect the boy. I punished that B word of a caretaker accordingly and execute her for her crimes before the council could try to overrule my decision. However, word gets out that the possibility of Naruto surviving are slimming. Further, as no one wants to help the boy out, a fear of being labeled as a demon lover, as one newly demoted Jonin to Genin called the boy. I nearly fail Minato and Kushina, but I will make amends for it now and show those fools why I'm called the Kami no Shinobi. Saratomi said. Madara glowed in rage as he read every paragraph, every word that dictated his grandson's horrible life. This doesn't even scratch the surface of Naruto's suffering. He's been for 5 long years. He lived on his own, trying to scrounge up enough food to eat a decent meal once every 2 days, and that was if he was lucky. He's been beaten, bruised, poisoned, burned, crucified, stabbed, and all before he could even barely walk. And don't get me started on the hospital. He has been there more times than most people would in their own lifetime. And the care he received there was abysmal, and that's putting it kindly. If not for the fox, he would be dead. All because the villagers can't tell the difference between the kunai and the scroll it's sealed in. Madara's look of rage converted into a look of loathing and fury. How dare they? Madara unleashed a huge torrent of ki. Naruto fainted and Zetsu was having trouble breathing. Madara-sama, stop. You're killing Naruto. Zetsu choked out and Madara stopped his ki. And after the minutes, Naruto woke up. What was that? Naruto asked. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, but they've hurt you. And I just got so angry I unleashed my full ki. Can you forgive me? That was awesome, Naruto shouted excitedly. You gotta show me how to do that, Madara Gigi. He's so like you. Rika, rest in peace, my love. Madara thought as he watched his grandson going on and about how his cool Gigi was. Alright, Naruto, settle down. Madara grew a tick mark when Naruto kept bouncing. Settle down, Madara roared, unleashing a tiny fraction of his ki to shut up Naruto. Alright, now that I have your attention, it's time for me to begin your training under me. Before we begin, there is something I need to tell you. What is it, Madara Gigi? By the time that this exercise program is complete, you will hate me. You will wish me dead, but in the end, there's one thing you can't argue with. What is that? The results. When I'm done when I'm done with your training, you will be the most powerful shinobi of your age group. Alright, Gigi. What do I need to do to get started? First off, I'm going to have Zetsu get you some weights, but in the meantime, you and I will discuss the Sharingan as it is your birthright. What's the Sharingan? The Sharingan's abilities consist of two parts, the Eye of Insight and the Eye of Hypnotism. The first of the Sharingan powers is being able to see chakra flow. The Sharingan itself gives color to chakra, allowing the wielder to differentiate them. They are also able to tell if a person is under a genjutsu because the person's chakra flow would be irregular. The Sharingan's second most prominent ability grants the user incredible clarity of deception, allowing them to easily recognize genjutsu and different forms of chakra, though not to the same extent as a Byakugan. This also allows the user to pick up subtle details, enabling them to read lip movements. Madara explains. What do you mean? Naruto tilts his head in confusion. In other words, you can copy hand signs, pencil movements, and see through pretty much any genjutsu placed on you or others. Madara said, dumbling it down as he remembers he's talking to someone who hadn't grown up as an Uchiha. I've got an awesome eye technique. I'm gonna be Hokage for sure. Naruto says, thrusting his fist into the air. Hokage. Madara's eyes widen in shock. You want to be Hokage? Why? Because that way everyone will acknowledge me for my power. Even I haven't been a Kage, and I know that it's a stupid reason for trying to be one. Hey, listen, I'll tell you something that Hashirama once told me. People don't get acknowledged because they are Hokage. Rather, acknowledged people become Hokage. However, the true definition of a Hokage is someone who will lay down their lives for his comrades and will struggle on until the very end to protect his home. And those who burn with the will of fire. I think I understand. I promise I'll do what you ask me. Just then Zetsu walked in with some weighted clothing. I bought the weighted clothing as you asked. Madara-sama and I'm ready to begin training with Naruto. Excellent, Zetsu. Good work. Now, Naruto. Madara turned to Naruto with a sadistic smile on his face. Shall we dance? 3 days later, Sarutobi was pacing his office, worry etched deep in his withered face. Naruto, where are you? What has happened to you? Sarutobi thought. As he paced around the room, just then he heard a knock at the door. Enter. Sarutobi said quickly, hoping for news of Naruto. Then an Amba with silver spiked hair walked in. We've looked all over the village. No one has seen or heard anything of the yellow hair boy. He's not at his home. He hasn't been by Ichiraku Ramen at all. We've even used the Inuzuka clan and scent, but his scent just vanished in an alleyway not far from your office. But that's where the trail runs cold. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that Naruto is gone. Inu responded. Damn, Sarutobi swore, and then he punched a hole in the wall next to him. Then Sarutobi started crying openly. I'm sorry, Minato. Kushina, I failed you, and now Naruto has paid the price for my arrogance. Sarutobi wiped his eyes and turns to Inu. Summon the council for an emergency meeting. Yes, sir. Inu runs out of the room. Half an hour later, the council has assembled at the council room. What is the meaning of this, Sarutobi? Danzo asked. I'm here in regards to one Naruto Uzumaki. Finally, you decided to kill the demon? One member of the civilian council asked smugly, which was met with a lot of happy murmuring. Just then, Inu appeared behind the man and slit his throat. He killed him, Mibuki said, shocked. He was guilty of breaking the S-rank law, which calls for death upon breaking, Sarutobi said. Inu, next time, send them to Ibiki and Anko rather than killing them. Yes, Hokage. Inu bowed and returned back to Sarutobi's side. I have unfortunate news. Naruto Uzumaki has disappeared from the village. The demon is gone, another member of the civilian council said happily, and then the civilian side burst out cheering. Then Sarutobi stood up and unleashed a torrent of ki. Silence, Saratobi shouted, and the civilian council looked on in horror, and the shinobi side smiled. Even the Staik Hiyashi, the kami no shinobi, was back. Damn it all to hell. Saratobi, what did you do? Danzo seized. I'll have to send Root out to look for the boy. We, the civilian council, call for an alien law that you set up 5 years ago. I don't really know how to pronounce that word, guys. Also, as you guys know, my pronouncing skills are kinda. What would be the best word to describe it? Kinda bad. Let's just say bad. Mabuki said, all in favor, one by one, the members of the civilian council voted for the annual. I really don't know how to pronounce that word, guys. Then it came to Danzo. Everyone looked at him, and after a few minutes, Danzo smirked. I, Danzo Shimura, personal advisor of the Hokage, support the... I still don't know how to say that word. Of law. Danzo said, then he turned to Koharu and Hamura, nodding ever so slightly. I, Homura Mito Koda, personal advisor to this Hokage, support the law. I, Koharu, personal advisor to support the annual. I'm not even going to try. I, Fugaku Uchiha, head of the Uchiha clan, support the law. All opposed, Mibuki said. I, Saratobi Hokage, I, Saratobi Hiruzen, and Hokage and the head of the Saratobi clan reject the law. I, Shibi Aburame, head of the Aburame clan, reject the law. I, Shikaku Nara, head of the Nara clan, reject the law. I, Suma Unazuka, head of the Unazuka clan, reject the law. I, Inoichi Yamanaka, head of the Yamanaka clan, reject the law. I, Chozo Akamichi, head of the Akamichi clan, reject the law. I, Hiyashi Hyuga, head of the Hyuga clan, reject the law. And a 10-7 vote, the law is annulled, I'll just say, I guess. Now I, Mibuki Haruma, call for the rest of the Ambo Inu for the murder of a member of the civilian council. Denied, Saratobi said flatly. You can't do that, Mibuki screeched. But, what was that? Screeched. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, but I very much can. You see, Inu is an Ambu, and as such, I'm the only one who gets to vote in this matter, and as such, I vote that he can't be charged as the law was still in effect, and as such, Inu, you are free to go. This emergency meeting of the council is now closed. You're all dismissed, except you, Danzo. When others leave, Saratobi rounds up Danzo and a furious look on his face. If I ever find out that you had a hand in this, Saratobi let the threat hang in the air as he walked out. And that's where I'll be ending the video. If you guys want another part or another chapter, 40 likes is the like goal. Yeah, I guess say 40 likes. If you guys like it, say so in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys want me to do more. I read some parts of the fan fiction out loud. There are chapters, so a part 2 was able to happen. 40 likes for part 2. If you guys want me to do something like this again, 50 or 60 likes. And also, this is going to take a long time to edit, so I'm not going to do anything special. Probably just put manga panels or something else. Or maybe just even put the thumbnail through the whole video. I don't know at the moment. So, yeah, I thank you. Even if you got to this part, props to you. If you guys got to this part without skipping, say we made it in the comment section below. And with all that being said, peace.